팀 경기장 도시형.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go for game number 3 between mouz and Quantic, a team arena challenge. As winners round 1. And up here in the top left-hand corner of Taldra and Malter, we have our green protoss player coming from Team mouz Sports. He is MaNa, who actually was, until recently, the Fight Club champion. As a matter of fact, knocked out Gonzi, unfortunately lost to Nerchio, but his opponent down here at the bottom right-hand corner from Team Quantic, and having taken a game from mouz already, is our red Zerg player, Destiny.
Yeah, and the thing we'll be kind of wanting to watch for this game is to see if MaNa makes some of the kind of same mistakes that his teammate did. You know, we saw his teammate last game try to be a little bit too aggressive at certain times. You know, he was in a position where Destiny had a lot of units. I think maybe he underestimated the amount of units that Destiny would kind of have out at that time, and he pushed and just made it really easy for Destiny to use the map to get that surround on his army as well. So we'll have to see if MaNa's a little bit more careful about how he does things. It is a big map again. It is a map that MaNa has picked, though. Yes. So it kind of tells me that he wants to have a bit of a larger game, most likely. He wants to take it into the late game. But like you had mentioned earlier, Destiny lately has been trying to force games into the late game as well. So this may actually end up playing into a situation that Destiny will feel more comfortable in, possibly.
Yeah, and you know, harassment didn't get a lot done with his Warpgate, or I'm sorry, not his Warpgate, I'm sorry, his Stargate, his Void Rays as well. And I think that's a good part of what held him back, because Destiny just had an overwhelming number of units to crush the follow-up 6-gate Stargate push. So if a similar situation happens here, where I think MaNa can't do enough damage in the beginning of the game, I think Destiny is going to look for that same style, put out a lot of cheap roaches, get a huge supply so we can deflect any sort of mid-game push.
Now Destiny will need to change things up a little bit, because he won't be able to take a third quite as fast as he did last game, too. He does have the destructible rocks at that area, and if he tries to take the other third that's kind of to the left of his main, that's a little bit cut off from everything, so it's a little bit easier for MaNa to harass. So we're probably going to have to see him stay on 2-base a little bit more, otherwise he's going to have to go after those destructible rocks really, really early, which not a lot of Zerg players do.
Right. I really agree with you. And it looks like MaNa actually doing the same build that we saw his teammate Haswabs do, which was Forge, then Nexus, and then probably a cannon right after that. Yeah, here comes the probe with 150 minutes. Nope. Putting down the gateway first.
Yeah, a lot of times you can go ahead and leave the cannon for a little bit later if you think you're going to be safe. That's pretty common way to do it. That way you can have your gateway that much sooner. You can get your cyber core out a little bit sooner. You know, maybe a zealot if you feel you need it.
Sure.
But yeah, if you can, anything you can do to delay your defenses will of course make your economy that much quicker. So just a little thing you can do, and MaNa showing us that he feels a little bit more safe. He did see Destiny go for that really fast hatchery. He knows it's not going to be any sort of really early cheese or anything like that. So yeah, leaving the cannon until after the gateway is perfectly fine.
Yep, and Destiny did only create 2 links there for map control, and actually ran that link up there just as the photon cannon finished.
Didn't lose it, though.
Nope, not at all. He still got it there, and it's very nice because they can just kind of sit back here, see what buildings are popping up at the front, check for any gateway units coming out. It looks like he's actually making 8 more links right now, though.
Okay.
Droning up behind this, but going to take complete map control.
That's interesting. That's a lot of links to make early on, especially if your opponent is going for a Forge expand. So I'm a little bit curious. He could have picked up, too, the gateway. Okay, so he was just going to go right for the rocks. All right, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah. Especially because he's been off of gas this entire time. Not started mining that, already on 2 queens. So he's going to have enough minerals to drop down spine crawlers if he needs to make a defense. And we'll have enough for this hatchery here, as he's already at 500 minerals.
Yeah, in the past we have seen Zerg players even put down a macro hatchery right next to that just to get a little bit better saturation. Now, obviously, he's not going to have enough drones to make use of that in this case, but he will be able to get his third pretty quick by making those few extra lings. So just sacrificing a few drones, sacrificing his early economy just slightly to get that third base that much quicker. Oh, but look at that. MaNa just so on top of things. Scouts it right away. He knows exactly what Destiny is going for now.
And look at this. We already have +1 coming up, and add into the fact he has a forward pylon, which will be able to take out that third very quickly. We may see a strong gateway attack here in a bit.
That's another good reason to get that gateway before the cannon as well, is because you can get warp gate research just that much quicker.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I was wondering if that's why Destiny made those extra links, because he was like, all right, there might be some sort of gateway shenanigans going on here.
Sure.
But looks like he will take that fast third.
taking a fast third. His creep spread's pretty decent, but he's going up to quad gas right now because obviously he hasn't mined anything at the moment. So no Zergling speed on the way, no layer tech, no tech to speak of. His opponent, on the other hand, already throwing up a Robo, as a matter of fact. So he's got +1 and Robo, but no additional gateways quite yet. There's one.
There's a lot you can do out of this.
Definitely. And there's a second, so we'll be on 3-gate Robo here momentarily, already pushing across with a couple of units.
And, yeah, so we'll have to kind of see what he has planned for that. I would imagine that the Robo is going to be largely just for observers at this point, but he might decide to add on some other tech, too. I'm kind of waiting for the Twilight Council to go down, but it doesn't look like MaNa is doing that quite yet. I mean, this could just be kind of a big gateway timing. He's got 5 in total right now after these 4 finish, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him add on 2 more and go for 7. But at the very least, he's going to be able to possibly deny this hatchery. Destiny, does he have enough lings for this?
Destiny was being very, very patient to make sure the next round came out, and he looks like he is going to force away a couple of units here in a second. Wow, those Zealots, though, being very resilient with that +1. It takes so many Zerglings to go through those, and there's still 2 Stalkers remaining after this. It's going to require Destiny to come back and start attacking those, because otherwise this hatchery is going to go down because it's now up.
Okay, there we go. I was wondering what MaNa was doing. He is actually going for the Warp Prism. That makes a little bit more sense now. And yeah, that +2 for Zealots, or +1 rather for Zealots, makes them 2-shot Zerglings, so it does make them significantly more powerful against especially non-speedlings too. So yeah, again, this isn't going to be enough Zerglings for Destiny to take out this army, and this is starting to really cut into things. He's making some roaches, but he might be in a little bit of trouble here. We'll see.
We'll find out. He's got a few spine crawlers making their way across. He kills one of the Stalkers, and it looks like he is going to surround all the rest of the units.
That's good.
That Stalker's not long for this world, and it looks like he is going to start peeling away at these Zealots slowly but surely. The Roaches certainly help, though. And it looks like that's going to turn the tide of the battle, and Destiny will be able to clear that up. But as you mentioned, certainly would like to have another 10 or 15 drones out there right now, which he had to just throw into units to keep his hatchery alive.
Now, MaNa took a bit of a risk going after that hatchery like that. I think he was pretty confident he could kill it. Otherwise, I don't think he would have dedicated that many units to it early on.
Yeah, I agree.
He could still do some harassment with this, but I think what MaNa's really going to need to worry about is that really fast Spire from Destiny. This is an awesome map for Mutalisks in ZVP. It's very, very difficult. Okay, so a little bit of sentry action here. Going to get cleaned up really easy by Destiny. But yeah, great map for Mutalisks. Did MaNa see the Spire, though? I don't think he's gotten in there and seen it quite yet. I haven't seen where Destiny put it.
Right there.
He did put his main.
No, he's not seen it quite yet. Looks like he's coming back to do a little bit more damage. He's just trying to go right after the hatchery, down to 150 points of health. 1 Stalker, now 2 Stalkers have gone down. They all 3 do die, but that hatchery is critically low in health, and I think Destiny's going to need to get a queen over there with some transfusions.
Yeah, I would say so. That wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Losing that hatchery would definitely hold him back. Another Warp Prism being made here by MaNa, too. He's actually going for Warp Prism speed, so he's really going into that Warp Prism play.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Spire is almost done, though, so, I mean, in terms of unit versus unit here, I mean, Spire generally is pretty good against Robo, so I think Destiny, you know, if he plays it safe, is going to have kind of the best situation he could hope for with this.
Yeah, I really agree with you. He's going to have a number of mutas out here in just a second. Looks like he may even catch the Warp Prism as it makes its way across. We'll see if MaNa diverts that path. Looks like he wants to pick up these Zealots here in a second. But the Zealots are now under attack. Does Destiny see the Warp Prism? Yes, he does. One of the Zealots goes down, but now he knows exactly what his opponent is going to try and throw at him.
Yeah, there's 9 mutas on the way. MaNa has no idea that this is coming. And, you know, Destiny can switch right over to Corruptors if he needs to for those Colossi, too. So Destiny just in great shape right now, about 30 supply ahead, too. And he should intercept this Warp Prism. He knows about where it's going to be. Oh, no. Just barely missing it. Not a gigantic deal, but it might end up being.
The hatchery
still doesn't have a lot of health. He never did transfuse that.
And let's see here. He's going to need to throw one down in a second. He doesn't have enough energy for it. The hatchery's starting to slowly go down. 20 points of health, and it falls. He really needs to put up that next hatchery here in a second. Warp Prisms with speed are so fast.
Yeah, a little Suicide Strike Force taking out the hatchery. And those mutas are quite fast as well. Fast enough even to catch speed Warp Prisms. That is pretty quick.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But Destiny will be a little bit slowed down due to losing that hatchery.
Well, he does have 16 mutas out, and he's making another 4 right now. So that's still a formidable force through the air, especially when there's, really no anti-air to speak of at all for MaNa.
This is pretty big for Destiny. And here he comes. That's a lot of mutas to deal with. He's going to go right after the sentries. Good decision there. Guardian Shield's not going to last too long. I'm sorry, Haswabs. I'm sorry, MaNa, you are in big trouble, man.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like this Nexus is probably going to have to get canceled as well. There's a few Stalkers out. I guess they do have 1-1, so a handful of Stalkers will be able to at least make the Mutalisks wary.
Yeah.
But once that Mutalisk count gets big enough, especially with +1, they may be able to stand toe-to-toe with small groups of Stalkers.
Well, what Destiny really needs to do at this stage is do the harassment he can, yeah, but more importantly, keep those Mutalisks as healthy as possible. Because, you know, if you attack with like 20 or so Mutalisks and then like half of them get down into orange health and you do a little bit of damage, it's like, oh, hooray. But, you know, protoss can kind of come back from that. If you are careful here, like he's only lost 1 Muta so far. The rest of them are still in pretty good health. If he waits until he has like 30 Mutalisks or more, which is definitely doable on this map, then suddenly you can get in there and really start tangling with the enemy armies and start doing some really significant damage.
All right, well, let's see here. Blink is coming up as well. It's certainly going to help MaNa. MaNa actually has incredible Blink Stalker control, so I was actually just looking forward to that anyway, regardless of whether that was going to be anti-air defense or what. But so let's see here now. Looks like Destiny going to try and take another base down to the bottom left-hand corner, down underneath his main and natural. I certainly think he needs that right now. Needs to stay 1 base up on his opponent. No probes have been able to successfully transfer over yet, though. It looks like the threat of the Mutalisk was too much, and that Nexus has kind of sat bare for a little while.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to pressure that with roaches while he attacks the natural with mutas. I think that's a great decision by Destiny.
Yeah.
Taking out some cannons, drawing those Stalkers back, and he might actually be able to focus down this Nexus if he does it.
Wow, he's actually just going right after it.
Be close.
There's a couple of Colossi there. The Nexus down under 500 points of health. Destiny going to swing back in with quite a few units. That Nexus down to 100 points of health, 60, and it falls.
Nice. Very nicely done by Destiny. Trading a base for a base. Take that Protoss player. Oh, that pylon is the only one powering 4 gateways.
Yes, it is.
That's worth a snipe
right
there.
After that.
Doesn't quite get it.
No, thought he would have done that rather than go after a couple of Stalkers there.
Yeah.
But looks like he's actually taking a 5th base at the same time, so he's trying to expand everywhere as he does have quite a few excess resources. His gas collection rate's pretty good, and it looks like he's investing everything into Mutas at the moment. He's going to have 34 here in a second.
Well, Destiny's just in complete control of this game. He's forcing his opponent to make almost nothing but Stalkers. That can be easily dealt with by lots of upgraded Zerglings or even unupgraded Zerglings. The Colossus count is going to stay pretty low because of the amount of gas that is going to need to be put into the Stalkers, especially with MaNa only being on 2 bases right now. That's also going to have a big impact on just how far ahead Destiny is going to get here.
Sure.
And yeah, all he needs is just to play careful right now. And, well, there's a Templar Archives coming up, so
yes, there
that's
is
going to be something to worry about. But again, keeping MaNa to 2 bases is going to be a big priority. You know, oh, is he going to get that Archives
Very
nicely
nice.
done?
Kills it. Not even canceled.
That.
Very, very nice there. It looks like the 3rd base finally coming up one more time. But, yeah, I mean, he's investing in great units right now. 4 more Mutas coming up. It's going to give him 39. Actually, he's going to have a staggering pack of Mutas flying around. And with +2 weapons, they're actually going to be able to engage quite a few units straight up. Looks like he actually takes out a couple of Stalkers there. Going to make his way back and try and do a little bit more damage. Still has to be careful with those, of course. Mutas are very fragile.
Yeah, he does have to be a little bit careful with this. How many Mutas is he up to right now? He's got 36. Okay.
3
They're
more.
not all in the same place, of course, right now. But they it is going to be a very strong pack. Yeah, once those 2 meet up, that's going to be about the time where the DPS is going to be so high that he's going to be killing Stalkers faster than they can kill him. He might decide to keep those 2 packs separate as well for a little bit of base defense too, but you know, so far he's doing a good job of controlling the pace of the game.
Yeah, and his gas mining rate is really nice as well. 4 more Mutas coming up, so he'll be at 43. And right now, it's really on MaNa to try and get something done. Killing the Templar Archives, and it's not been restarted, was actually huge, because Storm and Archon represents possibly the biggest threat to that Mutalisk pack, and it's just not there. Whoa! Looks like 2 Mutas killed, but a lot of them put down into the red.
Yeah, I think a little bit of an overextension there, but again, we see just what a huge group of Mutalisks that Destiny has right now.
Yeah.
Now, I think MaNa giving up on the Templar Archives for a little bit just because he hasn't been able to take his 3rd base until right now, and he's like, yeah, if I tried to add Templar into what I'm already trying to do, I'm just not going to have enough money for anything.
Right.
So need to be patient with that. Oh, a lot of probe kills there for Destiny. Nicely done. And yeah, look at that group of Mutalisks attack those groups of Stalkers. Has he not lost a single drone this game?
No, that he has literally not lost a single worker. That's staggering, as a matter of fact. He's on 90 drones right now, and of course he is maxed, and he has 1 million spine crawlers out right now, so he can temporarily hold any push that comes his way before he gets his Mutas there to help defend.
You know, this game is actually looking very similar to a game I watched yesterday between a couple players where it was two Korean players, and the Zerg just basically did exactly what Destiny is doing right now, just kept making Mutalisk, made a ton of spine crawlers at home. Yeah, goodbye Stalkers. The Muta count is just too high right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's taking a lot of damage here, so it will be time to pull back. But yeah, he's starting to kind of really reduce those Stalker numbers. The first player I really remember seeing do something like this was actually Sen. Way back early last year, he was doing this style where he just made almost nothing but Mutalisks and then just a ton of spine crawlers everywhere. You know, there would be games on Metalopolis where the entire running lane would be filled with spine crawlers and protoss just wouldn't be able to get through it in time. Especially if you add a few infestors on there just to hold them in place. So yeah, this is exactly what you want to do. If you want to go mass Muta, you need to back up the base protection with a lot of spine crawlers too.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, just slowing down that army so your Mutas can come back and help is really what you want.
Yep.
And let's see here, 7 more Mutas coming up. He's going to have 51, as a matter of fact.
It's not bad.
Now, this turns into a slower brand of play because you can't just engage a huge max Protoss army straight up with Mutas, but you can just pin them so effectively, and that's what he's doing. I like the switch to DTs right now for MaNa. It's a good way to try and get around those units. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. Destiny is in pretty good control of this game.
It's a good way to harass. The big thing Destiny is going to need to be concerned about in the near future is going to be Storm, which is just finishing right about now. Once Storm finishes, Destiny is going to need to pick his engagements very, very, very carefully. And it is finished now, so he's going to have to watch out. Oh, that was close, man.
Oh, my God. Those were
MaNa
so clumped up.
A little bit. Yeah, and he's got more, I'm sure. Yeah. Wow, MaNa just whiffing on those storms there, casting it a little bit too high, a little bit too far north to hit those units properly.
Right.
So Destiny dodged a bullet there on that one, but now he knows that Storm is out, so he's going to be able to take that into account here too. He's also going for Hive back at home.
Yes, he is.
Making 10 more Mutas. Man, just like nothing is stopping Destiny right now.
All right, let's see here. It is going to be 54 Mutas here in a second. Okay, a little bit less than that. He lost a couple right there, and that Blink's going to recharge here in just a second.
How many total Mutas again?
It's going to be 53 when those next 10 finish up.
53. All right.
Yes.
And yeah, the nice thing is, you know, some people are like, well, why doesn't Protoss just move out if Destiny can't engage his army? And oh, is he gonna get the Templar?
Looks like he does. Oh my
God!
God!
Damage though.
Oh wow, that's you. When you think about how much damage that is, that all adds up quite a bit.
Oh,
nice job here. Picks off the Templar Archives.
That
Knows the Dark Shrine is out as well.
But basically, okay, a little bit of harassment there, takes out the base. But you know, people are like, well, why doesn't Protoss just move out with their army if Destiny can't engage it? The answer is because there's so many spine crawlers. You know, you'd be able to delay long enough to take it out just through attrition.
Yeah.
And nice blink micro there by MaNa, actually, keeping a lot more of those Stalkers alive than you would normally see live through that.
Right.
Oh, but he's kind of stuck between those two Stalkers here. The Muta's taking a ton of damage.
Yes, they are, as a matter of fact. But once again, Destiny just replacing these Mutas as quick as he loses them, and it looks like he's finally just going to power his way through this Muta ball. Colossus comes up just for moral support, I suppose.
No.
Yep. The lasers come out of his eyes, but they don't shoot up.
Yeah, Dark Shrine on the way here, so he's going to add on some Broodlords as well. So we're probably going to see him get a little bit more Cavalier with his Mutalisks here, because he's going to want to thin out the supply count a little bit too.
Yep. Yes, he is, as a matter of fact. So, apparently he had a backup Templar Archive somewhere.
Well, he restarted one right away as soon as the other one died.
All right.
So, yep, they don't take all that long to build.
Long-range mining now. As Zergling gets taken down in the process, I'm sure Destiny will react to that. Looks like he is. Taking out that probe line would be very nice for him.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to get it, too. He's heading right over there. And there's really not a lot that Hotspot can do to defend that, because there's another big group in his main as well.
Yeah, MaNa's trying to run back now, or at least it looks like he was for a little while, but just moving his probes away rather, and he's going to have to cancel that.
Yep, definitely going to need to cancel that. He does not, though, so he just loses those minerals.
Right.
Yep.
So this is just kind of what happens in this sort of a game when you have mass Mutas that can't engage an army straight up against Protoss who can't move out on the map. I mean, it's a little bit slower right now. Destiny has this pretty well in hand, especially because he's almost starved his opponent completely out of this game. You know, but we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, well, the other one I was talking to that looked a lot like that, because these do end up being longer games. I'm just going to say it because I don't think we're going to cast it for the show we're going to do, but it was actually a replay of TSL Hyun versus FXO Choya, and the game ended up being, the game ended up being 54 minutes long, and it was just this sort of thing where, you know, basically Hyun just kept his opponent on 3 bases
Woo!
like this.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't have a Spore Crawler in there. Why does he not have a Spore Crawler?
I don't know if he knows
those
that's under
spines?
attack. Bye-bye base.
All right. Well, yeah, he does lose 1 base a little bit foolishly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he's going to lose a lot of spines, too, I guess. Taking out the Templar Archives again, getting a little bit singed by one of the storms there.
Yeah, not too bad, though. 4 more Templar are out.
Ooh,
That
a little
one
more
was a
than
little bit
singed.
better.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here now. As looks like Destiny moving his units back. He does know that that base was taken out as he puts down another hatchery right away. And it looks like he's just going to start poking in 2 places at once. Mana is down to 143 supply now, and that is falling slowly but surely. Again, look how many resources Destiny has built up at the moment. And he does have Greater Spire done as well. So
yeah, we're pretty much to the point of no return here, where Destiny can't exactly kill Mana, but Mana just is never going to be able to take a 4th base.
Right.
You know, maybe that upper middle one he's going to be able to hold for a little bit, but
Sure.
stuff like this is just going to keep happening. Yeah, he's never going to get a good amount of mining. He's never going to be able to get that Nexus to survive. Those Colossi never even really came into play this game.
Nope. Yeah, so it looks like he's just going to take that down, loses a couple of mutas in the process, but nothing that's too terrible for him. Send all of his mutas up here to the top right to make sure to clear up any sort of harassment that would go on. And, yeah, now up by 60 supply, but playing very patiently. I mean, guys, without trying to, say this game is over and things like that. Destiny's playing this very well and just playing this smartly, not overextending himself over and over again.
Yep.
So, looks like he's just going to tear through these stalkers. There's not much that Mana can do about that.
Here, actually, when he loses a stalker, this amount of stalkers, losing things in his main too, he's going to obviously not be able to take that base. At some point soon, Mana's going to realize that this game is pretty much over.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. There's not a lot he can do. That certainly helps. Ouch.
That could be a lot of dead mutas here in a second.
Yeah.
But he clears up everything, though.
And again, too, Destiny just has the resources where he can afford to lose, 10 Mutalisks to take out 3 Templar. He's actually at the point where that's perfectly fine to do.
Yep.
Just moving in and just killing mouz.MaNa just with purely Mutalisks. I mean, on this map, if you let the Mutalisk numbers get this high, it just becomes kind of a matter of waiting it out and just slowly whittling your opponent to death.
Fresh autumn colors there of the Mutalisks, and none of them in the green at the moment. But that's quite all right, as he is once again back up to 53 mutas. Swinging with another pack on the left. These are just the last amounts of mining that Mana is doing right now. All of those mineral patches getting very low. And look at this. This is the farthest he has extended himself on the map since he tried to do a little poke and deny this base over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he just has not been able to leave his base the entire game. This is such an excruciatingly painful game for Protoss to play, too, because you just can never get any traction. You die so quickly.
GG! Congratulations!
Wow.
And Destiny has taken out 2 members of mouz now in a row. A very impressive performance out of him.
Yeah, really awesome job by Destiny. And I've seen so many Zerg players do that exact strategy on this map lately.
Right.